My brain is thinking about all of the things that it needs to do, and that's because I pushed the button of activating that part of my brain to think about all of those things. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because I remember many times in the past, but in particular there were various times in the past where that was my habit. It was my habit to wake up and be busy, and it was as if my mind was like a horse, and before I could hop up on the horse, I had one foot in the stirrup and that horse has taken off, and my whole day, my weeks, my months would feel like I was just being dragged from problem to problem to problem. And so this morning what I noticed is, because I woke up and engaged in that process of thinking and pushed that button, it has activated those processes of thinking and deactivated the processes of thinking that happen when I meditate. And so I am feeling slightly off kilter or off balance this morning, which is a good thing, because that reminds me how important meditation is. And it reminds me of, when I meditate, how I feel, how I think. And so it's just reinforced for me the importance of that, catching your mind, because your mind is like an untrained dog or an untrained child. The minute you remove those boundaries, the minute you remove the rules, the minute you remove the routines that are put in place for your health, then you're allowing that child or that dog or any other animal for that matter to operate from low-level survival brain functions. We're allowing that animal to exist in doing whatever it wants, and we should all have that ability, but not without discipline. It's like allowing a child to do whatever they want. If you allow a child to have no rules when they go to bed, no rules when they wake up, no chores throughout the day, they just have freedom to eat all of the lollies and Coca-Cola they want and never have a nap and just watch all of the yucky television shows they want. We know the inevitable trajectory of that child and how their behavior is going to be and the results that they're going to get out of their lives. And the same is true for us. We think that we have freedom by letting ourselves hang out and not discipline our brains. But actually what happens is we end up having an animal, which is our brain. You are the consciousness existing inside of your organism. You are in control of the organism. But when you are not disciplining the organism, then that organism does what it wants. And what it wants to do is eat donuts, sleep in bed, avoid as much hard work as it can, and find as much pleasure as it can. And they are not processes of fulfilling you mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. They are processes that will keep you trapped in a low-level vibration or a low-level consciousness of being stuck in this 3D reality rather than being in control of your own 3D reality. The freedom to be lazy is only short-term freedom. In the long term, that laziness will soon turn to a prison where you feel trapped in your laziness, trapped in your depression, trapped inside of your own inability to influence and control your mind and body. So for me, if I don't catch that first thing in the morning, if I don't press that button first thing in the morning, all of those other buttons are going to be pressed, and it's going to be very difficult for me to pull that in and control that. And I'm suggesting that that's not just true for me, that that's true for, if not all human beings on planet Earth, then at least the large majority of human beings on planet Earth. And our job is to catch our mind and body first thing in the morning. And so I'm sharing with you the profound effects that that's had on me. It makes me feel like I'm in control of my life, like I'm in control of my thoughts, and therefore I'm in control of my emotions, and therefore I'm in control of my body, and therefore I'm in control of my behavior and the reactions that I get out of my life. And the only way that I've found to really do that is to catch that mind first thing in the morning and to discipline that mind and body before it races off looking for food, before it races off looking for something that gives it comfort, or racing off looking for something that gives it pleasure. Those things are never going to fulfill us as a human being. They're never going to lead to fulfillment. Thoughts are the spark that ignite the thought processes inside of our brain. So if we aren't choosing those thoughts first thing in the morning, something else will, and you won't be in control. You'll feel out of control, and that's not a good life. So disciplining your mind and body through meditation, and not in a forceful discipline, a militaristic way, but more learning, how does this thing work? What does this button do? What does this thing do? What does this lever do? What does this do here? Because if you're not learning how this system works, then this system is going to be not in your control, and that to me is not freedom. The word meditation literally means to become familiar with. Become familiar with this organism and how it works, so that you can then experience things in your life that you want to experience instead of having things happening to you.